this live stream that we're having for singles, this relationship ready live stream. I'm happy to be your MC, David Hewish, and joining me is another MC. So I want to welcome my Italian buddy. Who are you? Who are you?
Hey everybody, nice to meet you. So my name is Nausicaa. If you never met me before, I'm 23 from Italy, half Albanian, and I've been a high noon supporter for many years. So yes, I'm extremely honored to be here and help David and Benji doing this call and the whole high noon. So yeah, I'm excited and I hope you're also excited.
Very much so. Yes. So we have an exciting 2 hours ahead of us with a lot of activities and exercises to try and get everyone to feel inspired for their future matching and blessing. Of course, this is something which all of us are, well, most of us have been thinking about the blessing for a while, I can imagine, and many of us are preparing, and many of us might feel a little bit afraid or maybe feel a little stuck on that journey, or actually we feel perfectly fine, but we want some good tips to help us on that journey as well. So here's a great opportunity for us to connect as brothers and sisters and to, yeah, have a nice 2 hours together where we can get to know ourselves better and feel inspired for the matching and blessing. So in order to start this off, Nazika, I think we should do something fun first, right?
Yes, I guess like some icebreakers wouldn't hurt anyone, right?
That sounds good. That sounds good. We have an icebreaker just for you. We're going to do a Zoom poll. So we have some questions specifically about the matching and blessing or relationships in general. And yeah, we're going to just play a quick fun poll game. So Benji's going to post in some polls. How are we doing with that? Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant. So the first question we have here is if you could have one superpower, what would it be? That's very good. That's a good
Yeah.
opening question.
It's very useful for the matching blessing, to know these things.
Yeah, time travel is like the number one thing that your parents talked about in the matching and
Well, I
blessing.
think
Yes.
reading minds will be more helpful actually.
Your father was doing that all the time. Mind reading, you two together, lots of kids.
Yeah, but
Very
also, all those things with like misconception, misunderstandings, that would be like the best power to have in my opinion for a good relationship.
Ooh, okay. So you're gonna put that down maybe as mind reading, reading minds. Best food to eat on a first date. Gosh,
Come
Nazika,
on,
you're
David.
matched. What did you have on your first meal together with your match?
What we had, uh like we had a pasta with actually cheese, like gorgonzola cheese and mascarpone cheese. So it was quite good, Italy, but you have different option, but I guess David, you would know what I would choose as a proud Italian.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pizza, pasta, all of that. To be fair though, you do nice salads as well in Italy as well. They're very good salads.
Yeah, I think we have really good vegetables, so that definitely helps.
Yes. And then if you could only have one pet, what would it be? A dragon, panda, dolphin, or tiger? I'm trying to figure out how to look after a dolphin. You know, you need space for that dolphin. You would need like
Yeah.
a whole pool. Hmm.
But have you ever went like to this like parks and then they have the dolphins and they do the whole, show? I think actually dolphins are very, very friendly. So if you're able to have one as a pet, it's definitely a fun time. Yeah,
Hmm.
I guess like the tiger and the dragon will be a little more hard, to take care of, especially for the food. You know how much food a dragon would need?
Yeah, not to mention the insurance you need in your house for whenever he goes wild as well. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. And then how do you usually wake up? With coffee, with an alarm clock warrior? Oh, interesting. Stay in bed forever or jump up ready to go. Are there any people that just jump up at the first rays of sun that brush their cheek lightly in the morning? They just jump up and they're ready.
Yeah, but David, you're also a coffee person, no? Like I remember for your birthday, we get you like a mocha for
That has
some
made
good
my morning
coffee.
so much more special. Yeah, the coffee is very, very nice. Really, really good coffee. Oh gosh, this one's tough. Which dessert wins every time? Chocolate cake, donuts, ice cream, or brownies?
Mm, I
Hmm.
see. Is donuts a thing in UK? Because I feel like it's not at all
What,
in Italy.
what do you mean donuts is, of course it's a thing in the UK. It's not a thing in Italy, really?
No, it's not. It's not really actually. No, we don't have many donuts. I think mainly, good gelato or
You can't argue with the gelato, to be honest. But donuts
Mm.
can be very nice, very, very nice, especially when you get the nice big ones or Polish donuts. As a proud quarter Polish myself, Polish donuts with the jam inside is very, very, very nice. So,
Ah, I see. Yeah, I know that also true father really loved Dunkin' Donuts. So every time that Yana and him have some meetings, she always buy donuts for everybody. So we can, taste a little bit of what it was like to do hondoke with true father.
that'd be really cool. If you could fast forward 10 years, what would you hope to see most? Happy family, fulfilling career, traveling the world, or deep personal growth? Interesting, interesting. Okay, we can see some of the results here coming in. So we have, okay, quite a few people went coffee, alarm clock. Ice cream is winning with the desserts. That's noticeable. Hmm. No donuts. No one has chosen. I'm gonna
Ooh.
put. I don't know though. Uh, if we're talking pistachio ice cream as well, that is that's different. Mm.
Oh, well, so how do you usually handle conflict, David?
Talk it out right away. No, okay, depends on the person I have conflict with. I have mixed experiences of dealing with conflict.
Yeah, like running away and not
Oh,
texting for a few days.
don't expose, don't expose. This is not what we're doing here.
Wait, no, I thought that was a common experience, for especially for, young people or just that isn't that how you usually solve?
No, I think a good balance. Oh, yeah, I think everyone is guilty of ghosting someone for a bit if they're annoyed, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Do you also need to go in the cave? Like I know that it's a very like many men feel the need like to just get in the cave for a few days and sort things out and then come back and solve things like
Okay, I know you've been reading Men Are From Mars and Women From Venus, but
no, no, it's personal experience because also Angie is like that. Yeah, my match definitely needs a couple days and then we sort things out like calmly after all the emotions run out.
yeah, fair enough. I think it would be stereotypical to say that all men want to, you know, hide in their cave, but between you and me, of course we do. We really we like our caves, you know?
Okay, so you also a person who gets in the cave, let's say.
Yeah, we all have our caves, even if it's out in the middle of nowhere. Like, if you have people around you, your mind is the cave, right? You're completely hidden in there. No one can access that cave of yours.
Yeah, I see. I
But
see.
as a
Okay.
woman who likes to talk a lot, that's a very different conflict resolution style.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can speak for all women, but for me, it's like, okay, we fix it right now. So what's wrong? Like immediately, I don't want to live any second longer with this discomfort in my heart. So let's get it solved as soon as possible. Yeah. So
Hmm.
usually I think I'm the one suffering the most because, Angie needs a couple days off and I'm just there waiting and ruminating and think about all the possible wrong outcomes you know, that will happen and then yeah, and then he comes very collected and everything sorted out in perfect order, every single thing in the box, and now we can discuss about it.
Right, right. Yeah, I guess this is every couple has to go through this battle, right? Of figuring out how each other work. Um, yeah. Okay, I think most people have put in their poll answers. If you haven't, there's still a bit of time, so you can put in your answers. Let's have a look. People in the future, what do they want? They want to see self-confidence. 50% for self-confidence. Uh, Fast forward 10 years. Okay. Uh, oh, that's sorry. That's the wrong option. What area of your life do you want to grow in right now? That's self-confidence. 50%. Fantastic. Okay, that's good to see. What about main reason you want to get married today? Building a family is 83%, companionship 17. Not many people
Oh,
put in purpose, but I think that kind of goes hand in hand as well with building a family and all those
yeah.
things.
I see you're avoiding the word mission as well.
Okay, mission and purpose as well. Yeah, 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 of course, of course.
What scares about it? Why are you scared of? What's wrong with missions?
Yeah, people, I think if you have a mission together as a couple, that's really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can see that things are all good on YouTube as well. Fantastic. Okay, so I think we can wrap up the poll there. Thank you for doing that. That was a fun little icebreaker. But yeah, the real reason why we want to have this live stream is so that we can inspire all of our singles around the world to take action in their matching and blessing. And so, in order to do that, we want to hear some testimonies. And this is going to be a program full of testimonies. And also, we want to make sure that you have the chance to ask your questions as well to us as well. And we, as the staff here, Benji, Nazika, and myself, we will happily answer questions. So I'm going to post in the chat. No, I can't post in the chat. I don't have access. But if someone can post in the chat the link to the Slido, we will have a Slido open the whole time, so you can post your questions in there. And yeah, at any not at any point, at several points throughout the live stream, we will have a Q&A session where we can answer your questions. So yes, once we have the Slido link on chat, then we can. Oh yeah, oh, we have a QR code. It's even better. So yeah, please scan that QR code. If you're watching on YouTube as well, you can scan that. And at any point, if you have a question, we'll see it and we'll make sure to try and answer it later in the call.
Yeah, and don't forget also you can vote other people questions if you're interested. So they're just gonna get on the top of the list, and we'll make sure to answer the most popular ones. And yeah, please feel free. Like there are no wrong questions. They're all anonymous. So we're very excited actually to see how we can help you and support you in your matching and blessing journey. So
Yes, definitely. Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, please use that Slido link the whole way through. It's yours to use. And now we must go into our first testimony. So I want to welcome up a wonderful couple who I've known. Well, I saw them get blessed. I knew one of these people for quite a while. They were helping as a facilitator for CORE from the very beginning. And yes, they're an amazing couple who recently had a child. So let's welcome up Nori and Samara.
ooh.
Hello, everyone. Let us make sure that my second half properly appears in the name here. Samara. Boom. There we go. Yeah. So thank you, David Hewish, for reaching us out for our little testimony. I think, yeah, I'll be leading off with kind of how I got to prepare myself for the blessing, and then my lovely wife will add any additional comments from there. Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things growing up is finding that confidence and courage to do something that I knew was important for me. And so long story short, I had this random opportunity to connect with my former GPA captain at this point. But for your guys' own life experiences, it could be any elder individual, right? An older brother, older sister, aunt, uncle, whoever it may be, right? So imagine you're having that conversation about talking about life, right? And then randomly, I remember we were just going into kind of like conversation about our matching and busing hopes. You know, both of us, I don't know where he was at. I definitely wasn't ready. I think I was like 22 at that time. And I remember having a sudden inspiration, almost spiritual, I think. But as I was talking, I was like, you know what? At age 25, I'm going to get blessed or in a matching process. I didn't think much on that comment, but something felt right. Like 25 was a good age, you know? Fast forward 3.5 years later, I'm 25, I'm midway through, and I'm like, damn, I haven't done crap. I need to get my stuff together, you know? And this is where I want to emphasize my first main point, having courage and the courage to connect specifically. Because I think it is very key for us to, in order for us to grow in any capacity, right? We can't do it alone. God never made us to grow alone, right? He made us so that we can connect with each other, whether it's on a social level or whatever, whatnot. So, yeah, it allowed me to take a lot of things into account. Accountability, having someone to connect and share the same passion and goal that I have. So it really helped me launch into create a nice foundation for me to then be able to be more comfortable and having the courage to connect with other brothers who's going through similar things And actually, even before that, I attended a high noon summit back in Chicago in 2019. And it was there when I saw a testimony, someone that I respected and shared so vulnerably about their journey. I didn't even know that they had. And it blew me away so much so that I felt inspired to be like, okay, if this person was able to go through this and they're at their place right now, then I want to be that too. You know, so I hope maybe to some extent, um, not even just myself, but anyone that's ever touched your lives can always put that memory back in you to remember to have that courage to connect. And that's allowed me to share many things that was embarrassing or frustrating or whatever, and to be able to express that vulnerability to my wife. And I'm very grateful for that kind of foundation as well. Um, because of time, I think I'll share one other point, but did you want to comment on that, Miyamo?
Yeah, I think this point of courage is really, really important, right? I asked Nori to be sharing the main points today because I think it's very valuable to hear from older brothers, right? And I think girls have the tendency to connect a little bit more, right, with older sisters. So I was like, okay, I'll give you the priority this time, right? But yeah, the fact that he had practiced before, right, sharing with other people. And then the first time we talked, we had like an extended conversation. He shared all his difficulties, his struggles with PMO, with faith, with everything on the very first call we had, right? And that was really important for me. Of course, I already had an interest in him, otherwise I wouldn't have scheduled a call, right? But on that call, I was like very sure, like, oh, okay, this is a person I would like to start a matching process with, and eventually go to the blessing, right? And I think courage also has, in my end, I'll share just a little bit. For me, it took me like 7 years to find my handsome husband. And it was like through a lot of different matching processes, right? And courage for me played a different role, I think more in the sense of having faith, right? And there's this Bible quote that I always mention that had a very big impact in my life up to today, which is the life is being sure of the things you hope for. And I forgot the rest, but it goes it goes along those lines, right? It's difficult to remember the exact translation of Bible verses in English. But basically it's saying like you are absolutely sure of what you hope for, right? So having the courage to continue showing up, continue participating on workshops, continue talking to people, and being absolutely sure of what you hope for, right? I hope that I will get blessed. I hope that I will create a beautiful family, and that I will fulfill God's dream, and that I will experience the love and like the biggest amount of love that God intended me to experience, right? So having this strong like certainty of what you hope for, right? So I think that for me was where I had to be courageous, right?
It's a nice segue actually to like my second point of having that hope and to never give up, right? Randomly, once more, I saw a T-shirt that I had. It was a Nike slogan, right? Never give up. And for some reason, that stood up to me too. And so, hope and courage and everything can come from random places. It can come from any hundoke they read, whatever and whatnot. So no matter where you are in life of faith, especially because I know it can be challenging, having that hope and to keep firm in that desire to connect more and more continuously, you know, creates consistency, creates growth in your courage to share, in your commitment. I actually remember one of my times in the 24 Plus Connect, a lot of the sisters mentioned, what's your thoughts on commitment? And for me, I was like, oh, that's a big word. I don't know. How can I commit when I haven't overcome PMO yet? I don't know, you know? But it's more than just like, are you perfect in keeping your promise, but rather, can you show up? And can you consistently show up for yourself? And I think that was the final point for me to finally be ready, is showing up for myself by telling myself that I am worthy of love. You know, it's easy for telling people to say, "Oh, you're a good person. Like I know who you are." But then when you look at yourself, it's like sometimes you just see the ugly parts in you, you know? But it wasn't until I received grace and love and experiencing God's love for the first time, or at least in a moment that allowed me to go even deeper with my understanding, with my relationship with God, understanding myself, more importantly, that allowed me to then understand her. So everything that would be normally irritating me, pissing me off, or finding stupid, or finding anything that I find inconvenient that she might do, it's actually very cute. It's actually very like, that's Sama. Of course, it's okay, you know? Because I also have that within myself, you know? That, oh, I know I'm not perfect and I know I might have flaws and this and that, but it's okay. Because what's more important is that I continue to learn, grow, thrive, and love at the center of it, you know? So, to all my brothers who you think that, oh, I'm not good enough or I'm still struggling in this, it's okay. Doesn't matter what you have done because God still loves you for who you are. He'll never give up on you, and I won't give up on you, bro. I don't know who you are, but I know you got this because I know that I've seen many others going through the same thing as well as for myself. And I know you have just as much love. I am so excited for any and all of y'all singles to find this. Not her obviously because she's mine. Okay, no butch, no butch, but to find your incredible wife to serve or husband if you're a sister here. So yeah. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, I want to say like how this connects to like those are skills, right? That you are going to learn while you're trying to find your spouse, right? But those also play a role during the blessing, right? When you're living together. So, for example, this part of like grace, right? I'll give a very brief and simple example. Like Nori has, he struggles to be awake at night, and we have an agreement, right? Okay, I'll feed the baby, you will get the baby, and we'll put the baby to sleep, right? And then there were a few times that he slept and he didn't do it, right? And I think 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I was very angry. I woke up like complaining and like, oh, why is he doing that again? And until my dad reminded me, right? He was like, it takes a few instances for a person to change their behavior, and it's important that we give grace, we give love, and that we believe in that, right? And when my dad said that, because of all this background, I think I was okay, fine. And then I was good for the rest of the day, right? And Nori woke up and he was like, I don't understand why you're not angry at me. What's happening? Why do I receive so much grace? And like the problem was really easy to solve, right? Because it was like, yeah, okay, it takes a few instances, right? I know you get there, kind of thing. So yeah, it's this skill that is important for you to feel worthy when you're single of having a relationship, right? And not thinking that you need to be perfect, but you need to keep trying, right? Of course, you need to have a certain standard, a certain foundation, but there are things that you'll be constantly working on, right? And this is also going to continue when you're married, and it helps a lot, right? If you have this experience before.
Yeah. So it's not a matter about right or wrong. It's not a matter about if you're not doing enough or quick enough, but it's yeah, just keep investing, keep going forward, and you'll get there. It'll be harder, but it'll be hella worth it, or heavenly worth it, right? Right. Yeah, that's it from us.
Wow, thank you so much to Samara and Nori for sharing a story with us. And yeah, it's really
Amazing.
beautiful to see. Yeah, it's really beautiful to see. Um, yeah, there's no questions
Yeah.
right now in Slido,
Yes.
so Nausicaa.
Thank you. Yeah, that was amazing. I think many things were mentioned, like so many good advice in such a short time. And yeah, it's like you talked about courage, and I think that's of course the first step that anyone should have, and the courage to, even just to be curious about it, like what is the matching, what is the blessing, how does it work? Have the courage to ask someone who's matched or blessed, or some elder figures. And also you talked about having, grace towards yourself, like understanding that you're worthy of love, but also that you can be able to actually give that love and consider also the other person worthy of love. So yeah, much there was shared. Really, really thank you. And I also really like the message about hope and not giving up. So yeah, make sure that whatever happens, you are motivated and you feel God's grace, you feel, God's love, and never give up, as Noriko said. Thank you. Okay, since we don't have questions, I remind everyone who's watching that you can still, quickly jump into the Slido and give some questions there. There will be time later also for them to be answered. And I'm gonna introduce our next speaker, which I'm very, very excited because she's not only my friend, but she's almost my sister. We grew up together. She's my Italian fellow and from my same community. Such a loving person, such a caring person. She takes care of our younger generation with this huge, amazing heart. And I'm sure she will have a lot to say about her journey with God and towards matching and blessing. Thank you. So here it is, Rebecca Stoica.
Hi, hope you can hear me. Yeah, mine like connection here is not that good, so hope everything goes well. But yeah, so as Nazika said, I'm Rebecca, 22 years old from Italy, from Padova. And yeah, I'm here to get to just tell a little bit of my story and my journey in the blessing machine work and field. So yeah, growing up, I I always want a blessing in my life. So when I was younger, it was something really far away, something really, it's like something that, yeah, no, it's like it was too early to work on, right? And when I entered the right, it's like age, when I was 18, I was in a really dark moment in my life, and I thought that the blessing was not possible for me anymore. So I want to tell you a little bit more about that. And yeah, so I was born in Bordano, which is a really small village in the really north. It's really, really small, which is really great if you're a child, but when you enter your teenage years, like it's like it's really difficult because you don't have a lot of choice with people to hang out with. So it was really difficult for me to have healthy friendships. And I remember that I was really scared of um, just be alone and just to not have like having friends and having people to hang out with. So I remember just I compromised a lot, and I like yeah I just started doing the things that my friends were doing. And um yeah yeah I remember that I was during that time of my life, I was really unhappy and I was feeling a lot of pain, and I thought that God was not in my life anymore and he didn't love me anymore. So it's like it was a really difficult um stage, a really difficult moment in my life. And yeah, it became even worse on the summer, like in the summer of my 18th birthday, because I made one of the worst decision of my life. And I had a sexual relationship, and after that, it was really actually it's like I was surrounded with a lot of like toxic friends, and I was not happy with my relationship with my parents, and it was really difficult at times. Also, the relationship with myself was really difficult. I had a really difficult relationship with my body, and I thought that was the best decision for me because like also being like yeah, I thought that the church was not um, a good environment for me anymore. So I made that decision, and I remember that right after that happened, I really understood that the blessing was something that I was, it's like I really wanted in my life. And I thought that it was not possible for me to um, have that anymore. I didn't know about the special grades at the time. So I thought that, okay, I just like lost all the opportunities to build that. So it was really difficult. I entered 2 years of uh, really like yeah darkness, and I was struggling a lot. And but I remember having this um, goal. It's like okay, I was thinking a lot. Okay, I cannot have the blessing, but at least I can build a healthy and good relationship. I can just work and try to build it at least. But yeah, but subconsciously, I was like I knew that that wasn't the original plan. So I couldn't manage to build that. And yeah, all the things that I've been through, all the people I met in this journey, it was like, yeah, it's like, caused me a lot of trauma and hurt as well. And after 2 years in this situation, I was really tired, and I was like, oh, like I need to make a decision. Because I was really active in the church, but I had the situation going on. I was living two lives. I was like, okay, I need to make a decision. And yeah, um, I started to just do some condition to just be really serious with that. Like also that year, at the beginning of that year of my 20 years old, 2022, I remember that I found grace for the first time. I was talking with a sister here in Italy, and she told me about this. I was like, oh, so it's possible for me to have the blessing again, to just like work for that. But I thought at the time I was not really ready, so I thought it was too difficult, and it was, yeah, was not worthy, and I was like too broken or too like lost in my life, and so I just, yeah, I was not ready. I was not ready yet to work for that. And during that year in the summer, I went to a workshop, and I had this really huge experience with God that allowed me to feel God's love and God's grace. And I remember that the first thought that I had after that was that I wanted the blessing, that I wanted to work for the blessing. So I remember having a few conversations on the work during that workshop with, yeah, a few people just trying to get information about the special grace and the blessing and all this kind of stuff. And I remember home having this conversation with my parents, and yeah, telling them that I wanted to start this journey, and yeah, and talking with them about all the things that happened in the past and everything. And I remember that was really a beautiful moment. I thought a miracle happened, which is true, but I remember their happiness. So we started to work on that, and we had this really big motivation and this really big, like, yeah, feelings and emotion. We were really excited for that. And that year we went to matching and blessing workshop in Glanov. I was the first one. And during that workshop, I understood, I found out about the three relationship you should work on before starting with the matching and blessing. And so I decided to just dedicate a whole year to that. So the first one was my relationship with God. So it was, yeah, just matching that summer. So it was really new. I was really curious, and I tried to spend more time with him, do some conditions, and understand how it was working in my life, and how it would communicate with me. So yeah, I understood. I learned how to communicate with him, how to talk with him in a good way. It's like in a more healthy way. And then my relationship with my parents, which was really, really difficult, because before that, our relationship was really not good, was really bad. And I had to invest a lot and start from zero. But so yeah, it's like spending time with them, talking about the blessing or talking about life in general, like get to know each other. Um, Again, it was really helpful. I remember having these long conversations with my mom, talking about God and asking her questions about that, and it was really, really helpful. Which is like I really see that it was really important in my journey, in my path. And then the relationship with myself, which was really difficult. Uh, uh, it's like, yeah, it was, yeah, I had to just understand how to love myself again. But yeah, working on the relationships with God and with my parents helped me a lot to just do that, and to just slowly start to accept what I did, and like, yeah, just trying to see the good aspect of me, and like what I could bring in a blessing. So it was a really difficult journey, but it was really necessary. And after this year, um, we started to just um, like we officially in an active way started to look for someone. And I remember that we had this really high expectations. We thought it gonna like it's gonna be like really easy and everything. But yeah, I remember that we found a lot of struggles, and we just went through like a lot of difficult times. Yeah. Um, yeah, and all the past trauma, all the past pain came out again. It was really difficult, but with the foundation of the relationships that I tried to like work on during the year before, again, it's like yeah, so it was easier to go through all of that again. And I feel that kind of situation were really, really helpful for me to get closer to my parents and to God, but also to understand and deeply like understand the blessing. And yeah, all these situations made the reason why I want to go to the blessing a bit stronger. So yeah, so it was really helpful actually. So yeah, um, yeah, let me see if I yeah. So yeah, um, yeah. Right now yeah, I have this understanding of the blessing. I feel super positive. I feel super hopeful, and I really it's like I don't know. It's like something that I feel. Something I feel that God want me really to be happy. Want all of His children to be happy, and I really feel that the blessing is like achievement of the work that He did during the 6,000 years, right? And like yeah, building a good blessing is like reaching God's dream. And I can feel that He wants to build joy and love through me. He wants me to build a great family, no matter what happened and no matter what I did. It's like still the desire that He has for me is the same. So, so yeah, and yeah, so I'm really confident. I'm really positive about that because I know and I see and I can feel how much God invested in this and feel His love and this desire to feel joy and to experience joy through me and my future family. So, and yeah, to build a future together, which is yeah the important part, right? It's like he's more interested in what we can offer, what we can build together with him, instead of what we did in the past. So yeah, that was my testimony. So thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I've known Rebecca for almost my whole life. We have baby pictures together. So it was nice to see also, this journey as a friend. And yeah, it's very interesting on how many of the things that you mentioned actually were also kind of touched by the testimony before, right? Like, so, this courage, huge courage. I'm also always so impressed by Rebecca's courage and just to try again and put everything again, like, start from over. But that's amazing. And, also learning to have grace, like towards, you know, yourself and, what she mentioned before, having that good relationship with God, your parents and yourself, forgiving yourself and and most of all have that hope, right? Like when I see Rebecca, she's always so hopeful and positive, and it's almost impossible to not feel the same towards the blessing and matching. So yeah, thank you, really. I saw that we have one question, so actually, we have two questions. First one is, where are all of you from? It seems so many countries represented in this live stream. Have the differences of cultures of family of origin been a challenge? So yeah, maybe I can turn this question to Nori and Samara, like since you're blessed and now you're living together. Yeah, how was it for you, like coming from different countries? Did you have any barriers, or how did you overcome that?
Uh, yeah, so a little background because I think we did not introduce ourselves, right? So Nori is Japanese American. His parents are both Japanese and he is American. He lived in Indiana, right? I'm full Brazilian and I've lived my whole life in Brazil. We got blessed last year in Korea, and right after the blessing, Nori came to live in Brazil, and he's been living in Brazil ever since. And we had our baby boy in May, 3 months ago. So Well, my opinion, right? I am the host. I am in my country, so maybe it's easier for me, right? But I don't think there was like people. Sometimes I hear, right, a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I don't want international blessing because it's too difficult, it's too complicated." It's the same. If you marry someone from a different state, you will have to move as well. You have to get along with your in-laws. You will have a different community to, like, we have our Trinity, right? And both of the couples that are in our Trinity, they are Japanese American. And they are all living in America, right? But like one person had to move from Texas to Alaska. The other one had to move from Hawaii to
Virginia?
Virginia. And like they're having the same struggles as we are, like with like adapting to a new environment, a new family in-law, a new church community. So yeah, I think what's a little harder is the all the bureaucratic stuff, like having to do visa, green card, passports, blah, blah, blah. But it's something that you do like once a month and then you wait for a decision to come. You're not like constantly thinking about that. So I don't think it has like a big impact in our lives. So yeah, for sure, there are cultural and other differences, but I think it's bound to happen in every relationship because even if you live in the same country, your family culture is different. The traditions of your community are different. So yeah, I think those are the main things, right? That it would be a struggle, but not really a struggle. It's just a difference, right?
Yeah. And I mean, one person could look at us and say, "Oh, well, it's because Samara can speak English, and so we have a good connection and relationship with one another." I bet you guys out there you guys are from the same like country and whatever, and you guys are gonna struggle so much. You know who's that? That's your siblings, okay? Your parents, okay? You guys come from the same place, and yet you guys also struggle a lot, all right? International is just another thing to consider, and obviously, like things takes time, and you still need to invest into. So, not to say that it's any easier with international or whatever, whatnot, and it's completely understandable, right? So I do encourage for all of you who may have an interest or still kind of question about international, definitely talk to and connect with international couples. And then for me, fundamentally, here is my reasoning. I thought, okay, God, because at first I was like, do I want a Japanese? Do I want American? Kind of, makes sense. That's where I want to start off first. Do I really want this? Do I want that? And then I remember having this epiphany moment where I say, okay, hold up. Fundamentally, I want to have a relationship with God. I want to be like God. So if I want to be like God, does that mean I only love God's Japanese daughters? Do I only love God's American daughters? Am I gonna have that kind of heart moving forward going into the blessing? I'm like, and another step of that is like, does that mean I won't allow myself to have the heart to love all of God's daughters? I ain't gonna move forward with that. Not to say that I was ready to receive anyone, per se, but again, it's like the internal comes first, then the external, right? So having a heart to love, right? Having a heart to love no matter the difficulties, no matter the challenges. And that really opened my mind. And honestly, like when I opened my mind on that, like I think my first interactions in the 24 plus before that was like obviously with Americans, but the next 24 plus after that, everyone was not American, or at least didn't come from America. So I was like, wow, my doors really opened up, and I'm definitely glad and happy about that. But of course, just because you open to international doesn't mean that you have to stick with that. Doesn't mean anything. It just means how much more can you grow your heart and expand beyond the physical characteristics or limitations. Where's your heart at internally?
Yeah. And interracial babies are really cute. But I'm biased to say because I'm his mother, right? But they're really cute.
I just see little pieces of if you guys are familiar with French bread or at least pão francês in Portuguese in Brazil, His little arms are kind of like that, and they're
Little
very cute.
bumps.
Little buns.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. Okay. So unless Benji do you want to jump in and also say something about cultural differences?
Sure. Thanks, guys. We have so much content on cultural international differences. So I am hoping you guys will check out the High Noon podcast. Where am I? How do I? Anyways, I'm here somewhere. There I am. We have a lot of content on the podcast. So Love Life Legacy podcast. Check it out. Um, I talk a lot about my wife there, and she's Japanese. She's different from me, and I am half Japanese, but I grew up in the States, and my mother is Welsh. So I'm kind of a confused lad. Confused. What are they called in Harry Potter? Mixed blood, mudbloods, something like that. I'm a mudblood, a Muggle, half Muggle. I don't know if Japanese or Welsh is the Muggle, but one of those is. I guess in our church, the Japanese would be the pure bloods, and the Welsh would be the Muggle blood. Uh, no, I'm kidding. Totally a joke. But I'm a firm believer after all my experiences of being internationally blessed that I agree. I agree 100% with what Samara was saying in that the challenges in marriage are really created by ourselves. And because marriage is actually pretty easy if you think about it. It's simple. Maybe not easy, but it's quite simple. And we've been doing marriage for a long time, for longer than we've been alive, right? You and I. So I think it's unreasonable to say like, oh, marriage is too hard and I can't do it. And I mean, like, welcome to life. And I think if people are struggling in marriage, it's because they're struggling individually and they haven't figured it out yet. So we've struggled a lot, my wife and I. Yeah, but I've definitely seen a trend in our blessing in our marriage in which we in the beginning phases was like everything was cute and fun, and then the same things became absolutely frustrating and a lot of fighting and arguments. And now we've kind of gone over a threshold in our marriage so that everything now is actually quite fun, to be honest. Like I think a lot of couples don't surpass that bump of difficulty, but when you pass the difficulty, which is mostly our own self-imposed limitations and beliefs and frustrations and expectations about what you should and shouldn't do and things are supposed to be like this. But when you pass the hump, then things become fun and enjoyable. But most couples, actually, I would say the majority of couples don't actually get past the bump because they're not willing to fight it out in a productive way or learn how to work together and accept ultimately each other, like absolutely unconditionally accept each other. Because there's always this kind of ego in the back of our mind saying, but I'm right, but you should change, but but I'm right. And every couple knows that feeling, like I'm right about this and you're wrong about this. And you can butt heads about that, or you can learn how to overcome that hump. And then so now Hitoe and I are like, we don't fight anymore. And that's really strange to say, I know. And it's uncommon to say, but we don't fight anymore. We don't. And it's a blessing because anytime there is possible tension coming up, it usually is dissipated by just like laughter and like it's just funny. It's more just funny now. Like we're so different. It's just like, oh, that's fun, and we'll work through things. But we don't have like fights anymore like we used to. And that's I'm proud to say that. But it's definitely come with a lot of hard work to just be self-aware and overcome it. And if you can just remember that, like marriage is hard because we make it hard. It's actually pretty simple to do. That's all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Benji.
you. Okay, we have one second question, and I think this is for the Bika. And they ask you, how did you find the way to turn back? So if you would like to share anything about it, please feel free.
Yeah. Hmm. So for me, it was like, yeah, I consider myself very, very lucky because I had this really huge experience with God where I really felt God's love for me and God's grace. And after that, everything was easier. So you're talking with my parents or like be active again in the community, be ready for the people judging me, and I think it was easier. So at every time that I'm struggling with the matching and blessing, I just remember that the feeling, this real love that I felt. So I feel really happy. Like I feel really lucky because of that. But yeah, also yeah, if you don't have this huge experience, maybe I would just for me it would be helpful to like to have these strong relationships. Also to have that support around me, people that believed in me. So like I had a lot of like I'm not sure if you can hear me anymore, but I had a lot of like friends um helped me a lot um through like difficult times. It was really difficult to see um like the light and like the hope. And I remember like having a lot of good and great conversations. So it's like I had this really huge support system behind me. It was really helpful. It's like not only God and my parents, all my friends. And so, we are not alone on this. And I understood that it was really life changing. So maybe we'll say that.
All right, thank you. Yes, I think that answers well. So, a good system of friends that can learn, like, so you can learn from them how to give grace and how to receive grace. I think that's amazing. And of course, trying to rebuild that relationship with God. Okay, so since we don't have any more questions, you can still jump in because we will have one last Q&A in the end. So please feel free to still use the link from Slido. And but before that, we have a nice video that we want to share with you. And it's actually from a pastor, an American pastor, which name is Mark Gungor. So maybe you know him or maybe you don't, but I call him the comedian of godly marriages. So he has this amazing like seminar that is online, and we strongly advise you to watch it if you haven't. And it's called Laughing Your Way to a Better Marriage. So yeah, we're just gonna watch a 10 minutes video from it that was collected and cut from our MC David. So yeah,
Yeah, I just want to
enjoy.
quickly add before we start it. So one of the main reasons why we're watching this is because when we asked people, what do you want to see on this webinar, on this event, people said the difference between men and women was something they're very interested in. So this, as you can see, the tale of two brains, we're going to look into the differences between men and women, and it's a very funny uh, version of it. So don't get offended. It's meant to be comedy, it's meant to be humor, but it's meant to be a very stereotypically accurate, actually presentation on the difference between men and women. So enjoy.
Let me know if the volume is too loud or YouTube.
Well, you fill in the blanks. Okay, so now we're going to start discussing men's brains, women's brains, and how they're very different from each other. Now, I want to start with men's brains. All right, now men's brains are very unique. Men's brains are made up of little boxes. And we have a box for everything. We've got a box for the car. We've got a box for the money. We've got a box for the job. We've got a box for you. We've got a box for the kids. We've got a box for your mother somewhere in the basement. We got boxes everywhere. And the rule is the boxes don't touch. When a man discusses a particular subject, we go to that particular box, we pull that box out, we open the box, we discuss only what is in that box. All right? And then we close the box and put it away, being very, very careful not to touch any other boxes. Sorry, my Catholic upbringing got in there for a minute, but I'm not a Catholic, but I went to Catholic school when I was little. I had a nun who taught on hell like she was born and raised there. I mean, I'll never forget it. But it did me good, actually. It was a good thing. Now, women's brains are very, very different from men's brains. Women's brains are made up of a big ball of wire. And everything is connected to everything. The money's connected to the car, and the car's connected to your job, and your kids are connected to your mother, and everything's connected to everything. And it's like... It's like the internet superhighway, okay? And it's all driven by energy that we call emotion. And it's just... It's one of the reasons why women tend to remember everything. Because if you take an event and you connect it to an emotion, it burns in your memory and you can remember it forever. The same thing happens for men. It just doesn't happen very often because, quite frankly, we don't care. Women tend to care about everything. Now, this handles the way men and women handle stress. Okay? When a man is stressed out, all he wants to do is run to his nothing box. This is how we unwind. The last thing we want to do when we're stressed out is talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. We just want to... Of course, it just drives her nuts, you know. A woman will see a man in that vegetative state and she'll come up and go, "What you thinking about?" "Maybe think about something." "No, I was thinking about nothing. In fact, I was on a roll till you showed up." Go away, all right? Because that's how he handles stress. He just... Now, when a woman is stressed out, she has to talk about it. If she doesn't talk about it, her brain will literally explode. So she'll start just, "I don't know, might have something to do with this. Not going to have that. You know, I never thought about this. My brother over here said to me, and I know men who run from their wives when they do this. They do. I say, "Well, why do you run from her?" He says, "Because I don't know what to tell her." I said, "Dear God, man, who told you to tell her anything?" She wants you to tell her anything. See, a lot of guys, they feel obligated when you start explaining all your stress, they feel obligated to fix you. Right? Because that's what a man does. A man only tells his troubles to another man in hopes that that man will help fix it. Okay? But she's not a man. And you try and fix her, she's gonna kill you. All right? She doesn't want your advice. She doesn't want your help. She wants you to shut up and listen. And a couple of ladies, "That's right, you tell him. Tell him to shut up." They like that. Now, I had one guy tell me, he said, "Man, if she just tell me how she feels." I said, "She doesn't know yet." He said, "What do you mean?" That's how she figures out how she feels, by connecting this wire to that wire, this wire, and so. Now, because they love each other, they offer to each other their answer, their solution. A man senses his wife is stressed out. He loves the girl. He offers to the girl his best and finest solution. Or just quit talking about it. Just quit thinking about it. Yeah. And that's when she starts reaching for the knives and stuff. But she's gonna stab you if you keep it up, okay? Now, a woman, she senses her husband's all stressed out. She loves him. Therefore, she offers to him her best and finest solution. Talk to me. Why won't you talk to me? Go away. He doesn't want to talk to you. Leave him alone. He will not die. He's not a woman. All right? I know you've got to talk it through or you're going to be twisted inside. He's not like that. Leave the boy alone. You tell he's stressed out, just let him go to his nothing box. Just stay away.
All right. So
Yeah.
that's the exaggerated version, but it makes a lot of sense. So I want to prove that this is real though. Now, Zika, I want to ask you, how can you relate to that? Can you relate to the feminine side of what he's
Uh,
explaining there?
Yeah, like yeah, for sure I can. I also it's very interesting because I was just thinking, like I of course I was born and raised in Italy, so there's something interesting I think about Italian men, but I guess they're more, emotional and passionate than I guess like what a stereotypical man is considered to be. So for me, like I always thought they were, these were very big stereotypes and like all the men I grew up with, they were just like, quite, could vibe really well. Like they always wanted to talk and, very passionate. And then when I actually got matched, I got this, Hungarian man who every time like I joke with him and I say like, oh my God, you're such a man. You're such a man. And then, he's always like, is that a bad thing? And I think about it, I'm like, no, actually, it's not a bad thing, but I just need to get used to it, right? So, of course, we just been together for, months, like, almost a year now, which is not a really long time, and we're not like daily living together, we're daily interacting, and we had our few soup of disagreements, and yeah, in that sense, like, I can yeah, for me it was really hard because there's a problem. I'm like, let's just, just fix it. Let's fix it now. I think I was mentioning a little bit before, but he needs his time, like in it's nothing box, I guess, and he really wants to, go through these things by himself and come back like with a clearer mind, and then we can talk about it right after. So yeah, for me it was hard in the beginning because I guess for our common girl experience is like, oh, he's not talking to me, like I did something wrong, like and then it start with I did something wrong, and it ends with I'm a horrible person, I'm unlovable, and like I will never find real love, and that's it's like all this spiral, like what did I do? He doesn't talk to me, like I'm not lovable. What and so for him, it was also, I guess, like something to learn. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, you don't have to tell me what's up, but you just have to tell me that something is up, right? Like, so just tell me, I need 2 days. Like as this thing is going on, I need some time alone. Like, just tell me that it's not me. So my brain is not, exploding with all the possible, worst outcomes that, what is wrong, what is happening. So yeah, that's definitely something. I think it's exciting in a way, just to get to know the other gender and also learn how you can better support them and, because I think there was someone told me this one when I was in Chompion. I think one of the teacher, and he was saying like, there's a difference between loving someone and making that person feeling loved, right? So you think like, yo, I did everything with this person, I love that person so much, I bought this and that or whatever, but maybe you're not offering what that person needs to actually feel loved. So it's a way also for you to learn how to approach this person, how do I open my heart, right? So I often talk about having this elastic heart, like, how can I make my heart more elastic so I can embrace this person, it can be just stretched so much that I can learn more how, actually make this person feel loved. But yeah, I don't know, David, you have sisters, like, how is that for you?
Yeah, it's very different. I have four younger sisters, and they're definitely the kind that need to talk about everything in the moment. And it gets to the point because there's four of them, and they're all adolescents, and I'm sat there as a very masculine male who would rather just kind of give it some time before you premeditate what you want to say. And there have been some heated moments where they're arguing, and I'm in the room, and I'm not particularly happy that they're arguing. And so it goes, girls, can you just maybe, do this later and just figure it out later? And I get like death stare, like, no, we do not deal with this later. We deal with this now, right? And it's so different as a man. And yeah, for sure, I can kind of relate to this nothing box. I wouldn't call it a nothing box because it's not nothing. It's normally just something which is not very important. Like, so for many guys, it's video games or football or movies or something which calms them down, or bird watching. I don't know what it is that each man has a different hobby they like. There's just something to distract all of the stress and all the anxiety, in the moment, and that they actually do really well afterwards. If they remove themselves for a bit, they go to their calm space and they can come back and then deal with it in the moment. But it also means that men can be very bad at sharing. And I'm someone that's been trying over the past couple of years to be a lot better at sharing, and to the point where it's more natural. And I was actually talking with a close friend of mine this week, a good brother of mine, and we were reflecting that even though we've become better at sharing quite a lot, we actually realize that sometimes we don't know what it is we want to talk about. But actually, just having somebody to listen, in a sense, like the feminine aspect of us, having someone to listen is actually really helpful. And yeah, we can connect to this feeling of we don't actually need to know what we need to say, or we don't need to know what we feel, but actually just hearing someone's response, in particular when someone responds to you and they offer kind words in return, that's really, really nice. Which I guess for a single guy, like we really just need a wife for that, so they can compliment us, because or if you have a brother, who can compliment you, that's super, super important. So yeah, it's not the same for everyone. Everyone's different, but there are some, yeah, common realities there.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, Benji, do you wanna jump in and say a few words also? Like, what was your experience with your wife?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, man, 15 years. More to come, hopefully. Hopefully she doesn't kick me out of her life. No, I'm super proud of our marriage because it's probably if you ask me what my greatest achievement is, I would say it's keeping my wife happy. Most of the time. Most of the time happy. And yeah, I think that like there's like a cultural nuance trend towards this thinking that like, oh, we're generally the same, or like, oh, but most men are like that, but not all men, or most women are like not all like I'm not like that. Like anytime I give a talk about like this nature of men and women differences, I always get pushback from women, interestingly after the talk. They come up to me and say, like, Benji, I agree with you generally, but I'm not like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about women in general, right? And so I think it's helpful as someone preparing for marriage or going to a relationship to know that men and women are biochemically different, all right? Not just culturally or psychologically, like hormonally. Just think about like estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, like all of these hormones that are going into male and female, beautifully designed by God, our creator. And they biochemically change us so that we have tendencies towards to being a certain way, right? Of course, there are generalizations. They're called generalizations in terms of our like characteristics and personality and upbringing and whatnot. But if you go into a relationship without knowing that women are very different, just hormonally speaking, from men, right? Especially healthy women, right? And if you think about it like that, sometimes we have to consider that like if a man is too feminine or if a woman is too masculine, maybe it's not based in something that's natural or healthy. That's all I'm saying. Like we have to be able to consider that. And I'm not saying that's true for everyone, but if we're coming to a place where a man is too like a pushover and doesn't stand up for, his family and protect them, and a woman is too hard charging and too like forceful in a relationship. You kind of have to step back and be like, okay, is this natural or healthy? Because some women do genuinely have a masculine presence. Like I think it's a God-given strength, to like fight for something. And some men have the, God-given ability to be a caretaker and a kind of more feminine trait. And so I think at the end of the day, we just have to like take an honest look at ourselves and say like, okay, where am I? What's healthy? Who do I want to be? What kind of a husband, wife do I want to be? And lean into our masculinity. And for me, that's been a challenge, because I started our relationship with my wife kind of on the more sheepish side of things. Like, oh, I'll do, whatever you want, honey, and I'll follow you. And if you want to do this or that, I'll support you and all that stuff. But it's actually really pretty detrimental to our relationship, right? Because my wife doesn't want somebody that's like, oh, I'll support you, whatever you want. She actually wants somebody that's going to say, like, honey, this is what we're doing. We're going to go here. We're going to travel here. We're going to be doing this. We're not like this kind of stuff she appreciates. And I mentioned this before, like, she's really proud. My wife is really proud because I protect her headspace. Like she's on Instagram and I deleted her Instagram account because I was like, she's spending too much time on Instagram. And then I was like, looking at the stuff that's feeding, like the algorithms feeding her, it's all this like fitness stuff. And I was just like, honey, you don't need any of this. Like, this is garbage. So I deleted her account and she was really happy about that. She wasn't like, oh no, I really need Instagram. She was proud of this, that I protect her to an extent that I will tell her what's good and what's not good on the internet, right? And of course, some people will say like, "Oh, that's too controlling, whatever." But that's how we operate. That's how my wife and I operate. And she will gladly come on here and tell you guys that like she's happy that I'm someone that will take control, not control. Will stand up for what I believe is right, even if the culture or other people think it's, counterintuitive or countercultural. But that's all to say, guys. Like, I think that at the end of the day, healthy couples go through this process of leaning into their God-given masculinity as men and God-given femininity as women. And over time, you have opposites that attract. But a lot of couples get into conflict is when you have two people that are confused about their their role as a man or a woman. And so there's all these expectations to be one another. Like, you have to be more like this, you have to be more like that. But the more we lean into our role, our gender roles, the more that we become comfortable with the other person and comfortable with ourselves. And so the biggest life hack I can give to any couple is like simply, if you're a guy, spend more time with men. If you're a woman, spend more time with women. And the conflict that a lot of couples have is that they don't have any other friends or support systems. And so they only have each other, right? Samara and Nori. It's like if you're a man and woman that only have each other as support, what happens is that you begin to try to expect your husband to be like a woman and you expect your wife to be like a man. That's what Mark Gungor was talking about. But as soon as you have a support community and a man has men and a woman has women, then when you come back together as a couple at the end of the day, all of a sudden you don't feel like you're trying to get something, like you're needing something from the other because you feel fulfilled as a man or woman and you don't expect each other to change. It's like, okay, I'm comfortable being me and you're comfortable being you. And that's great. Like, you're a man, I'm a woman. This is awesome. But you become empty when you only have each other. And this is like an epidemic in our culture today, is that men and like couples only have each other. That's it. There's no grandparents, there's no support, there's no outside support. There's just you and your spouse. And they're just like trying to suck the life out of each other. And it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Yeah. So that's like, if I were to like sum up my greatest life hack for couples, is just men find men, women find women. Be yourselves as men and women. And when you come back together, you'll feel fulfilled and not like you're trying to. All right. That's all. That was an unpopular opinion, but I let it out. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Benji. I hope we don't get canceled.
Good. Cancel me and David.
Yeah, you can cancel me as well.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
that was great advice. I think, yeah, definitely having that support system is fundamental. And
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So yeah, we're now going to move on to the next part of the schedule. So it's all been kind of fun and high tempo so far, but we now want to calm things down a little bit, just relax the mood on this live stream. We're going to do an activity now to understand yourself better. It's going to be a self-discovery exercise. And I want to reference Rebecca's testimony actually, because what was so beautiful about what she shared is this experience of having this shame, this thing she was ashamed of in her life, this mistake she made, and yet still being able to overcome it to the point where she is more confident and more positive about the blessing than many people I know who are pure, like 100%, have never been in a relationship, but have not worked on themselves towards the blessing. And you might wonder, how did Rebecca do that? How did so many other people who are blessed now, Samara and Nori, so many other couples I know where and I can relate to this as well as a single person who has made mistakes in my past. I feel excited about the blessing now, but I wasn't always like that. There were many I had a lot of shame that would keep me back from feeling like I was worthy of the blessing. So what we really want to do now is give you all the time, 10 minutes to reflect on some questions about what is it like holding you back from your future relationship? What is it that you like about yourself, or these different things? What is it you dislike about yourselves? You see them here here on the screen. And yeah, we really want to go deep. And I want you to really take the time to take these questions very seriously. If you're watching this on YouTube, then yeah, you can pull out a piece of paper and write it down. And afterwards, we're going to share this in breakouts here on Zoom. If you're on YouTube, now would be a good time to reach out to a friend or a family member who's in your house, or maybe you want to call someone, because after this, we'll have the chance to share. So yeah, we're gonna have 10 minutes to reflect on these questions. Really try and go as deep as you can, and then we'll get the chance to share afterwards.
Yeah, have a good reflection and see you later.
noticed the lights were on, and I thought you might be home. I wasn't sure.
Okay, everybody, if we could start wrapping up the reflection, that would be great. Okay, if we could finish there, that would be great. I hope that was enough time. For anybody watching on YouTube as well, I hope that you have the time to reflect, and I hope that you have a buddy that you can share with, or call, or bring your parents in. So yeah, that was some tough reflection, Nazika. How was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I was reflecting. I was, since I'm already matched, I was more, reflecting on how, my expectations were the blessing and, just refreshing, like, the heart with which I started and, the heart with which I want to get there and, hopefully keep after, improve. So, yeah, how was it for you?
Yeah, kind of challenging, I have to be honest. It's yeah, I'm
Wait,
quite
I thought
nervous.
you made the questions.
Yeah, it did, but they're still scary. So so yeah, it's kind of tough and challenging. Being quite, afraid of many things going into my future matching and blessing journey, but I think I can share that with many other people. Like we all share that same fear. So that's why we have to talk about it, which we're gonna do now. And we're gonna get a chance to talk
Yes,
about
we're
it.
gonna split and break out groups. So if you're watching this on like YouTube, please make sure that you also can find a partner, either use like your family member or just contact an old friend, just call someone and reach out. That's amazing opportunity to still connect on this nice Saturday. And for us, we're gonna do it gender separated. So we're gonna have the sisters on one group and the brothers on one group. And please just feel free to discuss and talk about your expectations, your doubts, and as much as you feel free to share, please take this opportunity. As we mentioned before, having these connections is really fundamental for our future relationships. So, yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, looking at the time, I think 25 minutes is what we have time for. So sorry, sisters, I know you always want lots of time, so you might not be able to answer every reflection you wrote down, but do your best, please.
Oh, maybe who knows? Like maybe the brothers are so inspired today and you will be the one to be late. We'll
Maybe,
see.
maybe, we'll see. But yeah, enjoy your
Okay.
discussion. So yeah, please join your relevant breakout group. See you.
See you guys and have a nice discussions. Hello, hello. Welcome back. It's nice to see the cameras on and see some more faces. I think that's my favorite part of coming back from breakouts rooms and see the people finally and not only names on a black, you know. Um,
Not that
but
it's a competition, but same time now, Zika. Same time we came in.
oh, I mean, it was just automatically, right? Like, didn't the room died, like exploded or something, or yeah, the real reason is who was interrupted, why they were speaking. That's the question. You,
Oh, fair
but
enough, fair enough. But yeah, thanks for taking the time to share. We had a great time on the brothers. I hope that the sisters had a good time. And I'm aware that we're 5 minutes over the time that we promised, so we want to try and make sure we wrap up in a very good way. So in order to do that, I'm going to hand it over to Benji with some call to action.
Hey guys. All right. Happy you had a good discussion. I know you had a good discussion. So we have a little treat for you guys. Hold on one second. All right. We have a little treat for you guys. Tomorrow, the core program is closing registration. Tomorrow. Yeah, right, David?
Yes.
And so core is for you guys that want to join a community and want to not do nothing. Uh, and so basically, it's a study of the Core of the Universe book and discussion in small groups, and also helping to get clear on the blessing, right? Your first steps to the blessing. So if you're in a stage where you are, sorry, really getting serious about preparation, then this is a good step, first step. Yeah. We've got lots of testimonies on the website if you want to check them out, the core program. But I do recommend signing up today so that we can put you in a group because this program only runs every few months, right? And this is the last one of this year, I think, or maybe there's another one starting later. But yeah, so if you want an ongoing community like this and discussions just like this, and then this is going to be great. We have daily inspirations from this book, Core of the Universe, which is God's vision for love, sex, and intimacy. And you can get support from any of us if you want, from our staff. If you want to have a call or have a discussion, then that's totally up. And the deadline is tomorrow, okay? And your father says, Satan will invade those who hesitate before the will of God. And that's why you guys should register. All right. So I'm going to give a few minutes to uh, to register. You can actually do this right now. But before I do that, I just want to mention the group options. There's actually quite a few group option times when you go to register. But if you, for some reason, can't make any of the times, then you can go down here and click the bottom one, which is called no time and date. And you can do that there. All right. So if you're checking it out, then you can feel free to join now. If you're watching live or watching the recording, then this is your chance to join the core program. All right. And if you're watching it, then there's probably a divine sign from God that you should join a community, right? It's free, by the way. There's no paywall for the core program or any of our programs, all right? So I'm going to give just a few minutes for that for people to get settled in to the link before we officially close. So let's go ahead and do that. And David, if you want to. So while you guys are registering, David, if you want to say anything about the program at all.
Yeah, so this program really is, as Benji said, like a great community for singles to support each other. You'll have breakouts with brothers or with sisters if you're a sister, and really be able to just learn what is God's vision for the blessing. And I mean, I'm kind of biased because I run the program, but the last 2 years I've really seen how it's yeah, been very special for many people. And it's not just an educational program, but really a place where you can experience connection, which I believe is the biggest solution we can have as a community is being connected. So I recommend it.
yeah, I mean, like I don't run the program, but I also recommend it. So please, like, it's I think it's an amazing opportunity. Just if you are thinking about a matching, if you never thought about it before and you just want to start, like, and you can connect with this huge network of other people who have the same goal, I personally found it very inspiring and I learned a lot from it. So, yes, I also recommend it.
Okay, I think at this point people have probably opened their phones and yeah, you can take more time to register later. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining this live stream. It's been really fun to have you on. And for all of those who are watching on YouTube, I hope you had a great time as well. Thank you for those who joined live. I hope you enjoyed the breakout discussions. And Nazika, it's time to give some closing remarks.
Yes, guys, I'm very excited. Thank you for joining us. It was an amazing. We were so excited to be MC with David. And I don't know, Benji, do you want to also say some few last words?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Merry
Good.
Christmas, David.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. It's been amazing. And yeah, we're really happy that you came. And I hope that you have an amazing matching and blessing journey in the future. You guys got this. You guys are amazing. We love you a lot. And oh, hello, Parrot. Nice to see you. And yeah, we wish you all the best. Yeah, we love you. You're amazing. And have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.
Yeah, see you in core,
Yes.
hopefully. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Okay, have a good day. Bye.
Yep. See you, everyone. God bless you.
We love you. You're amazing. God
Happy.
loves you too.
Peace, peace. I don't have anything. I didn't prepare a light show for you guys. But I'll do this.
Thank you, Samara. Thank you, Nori.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much. Have a good
guys for
day.
hosting. Thank you for Mark for sharing as well. Thank you,
Thank you,
David.
Mark.
Bye. Bye, Thank you, Beji.
Bye.
Bye, Nazca.
Bye, baby. So cute.